Perfect. Good afternoon, and welcome to this lecture of electronics. I guess we were studying some of the basic electronics, and we were conducting BSc first semester syllabus today, and we have just say in the last class we have just concluded this. We have studied about say the passive devices, resistances, and what is the resistance of copper wire and wood. Accordingly, we have studied what would be the resistance of say a copper or a conducting material and an insulator, right? So we have to start try to differentiate between what actually the resistance is. So by this we were able to understand how the resistance varies. So as I told you that the resistance of a copper wire is supposed to be say zero, and the resistance of a wood, that is an insulator, the resistance of that is say infinite, right? So we were studying some of the basics of electronics, not more than that. Then we have just brushed up upon the subject of volts, voltage, and the current, which I have told you. The voltage is supposed to be the potential difference between two levels. The potential difference means the difference of potential energy of two wires, right? So that we were taking it as the potential difference, and the voltage is always measured in parallel. Whereas when we have studied about the current, so current is rate of flow of charges, in how much time the charges are going to flow from one point to the other. That we have taken it as a current, right? And the current is supposed to be measured in series. So these are the basic things: voltage, current, and the third one was the relation between the resistance, voltage, and current, which was derived by the Ohm's law that we have studied in the last class. So Ohm's law states that at some say ideal condition, the voltage is directly proportional to say the current. That is what is the Ohm's law. And when we substitute the proportionality constant, then we have to use some constant, and here we are use the constant for proportionality as R, and this R is nothing but the resistance of that particular say conductor or say material through which we want to pass the current, right? So that is the that resistance. So this is the relation between say the voltage, current, and resistance. Today we are going to also we have also studied this type of some nomenclature that we have been using in say some of the units, like we have used it in kilo is nothing but 10 raised to power 3, mega is 10 raised to power 6, giga is 10 raised to power 9, tera is 10 raised to power 12, milli is 10 raised to power minus 3, micro is 10 raised to power minus 6, and nano is 10 raised to power minus 9, whereas pico is 10 raised to power minus 12. So these all numbers are positive numbers, but they are in the decimal portion, right? So they are the smallest portion that we are having in the positive side, right? So we have worked on this. Today we are going to study more about what is resistance and how resistance can be used for different purposes. So we'll study that. I guess we have studied all those things which I'm rubbing right now. So today we are going to continue this with resistance, right? So let us see more about resistance. What is it? So resistance, as I told you, uh, resistance, the simple basic meaning of resistance is the thing which is going to oppose something. Resistance means to resist something. That is called as a resistance, right? Now here, in terms of say electronics or in terms of say electrical parameters, we can say what we are going to resist is we are going to oppose the rate of flow of charges, right? So that is called as the resistance. Now the symbol of resistance simply is nothing but like this. So it is actually uh, the road breaker type of thing, which clearly indicates that if you pass something through this type of a structure, the current is being opposed, right? So that is why we use a symbol of resistance like this. So here, if you pass through this, or say just imagine that you are passing from say uh, a road, and we have this road breakers over there. So what they do, they simply reduce your speed of driving, right? So the road breakers are same like resistance. So we are using the same symbol. This insists that it is nothing but it is going to oppose the flow of current. And whatever say increase in the resistance will increase the opposition to the current, to the flow, to the rate of flow of current, right? To the rate of flow of charges, right? Also, one more thing, if the current is supposed to flow from this direction, means the charges, the positive charges which are going to flow from say one point to the another point, and this the direction of flow of charges is in this direction, then the flow of electron, imagine just listen it carefully, it is the flow of electrons. So electrons being negatively charged, the direction of flow of electrons will be in the opposite direction. So the current is supposed to flow in this direction and the electron is supposed to flow in the opposite direction. Now, if I give a small connection to this, say, and try to make a circuit. So if I apply a supply, a battery to this resistance, right? So it will appear like this. So this is positive and negative, right? So I have made a simple circuit of, say, a resistance connected to a battery, right? So the battery or a DC supply. Now this is a DC supply. We'll talk more about DC and AC supply in depth, but just imagine this is a DC supply which is having a higher polarity and a lower polarity, right? So the higher polarity we will call it as positive, and comparatively, with respect to this higher polarity, it is at slightly at a lower potential, and therefore we call it as a negative polarity. With respect to this terminal, it is at a lower polarity, right? So we take this as, sometimes we take it as 0 volts, and we take it as, say, for example, we can say it is around 5 volts. DC means which remains constant, which is not fluctuating, which is not changing with respect to time. That is called as DC. It will remain constant. When I say it is a 5 volt DC, implies that it is going to supply 5 volt only. But when I say that it is 5 volt AC, which implies that it is going to switch from 0 to 5, -5, and then 0 again. So it is going to change. That is AC. We'll talk on this in depth in the coming class, right? So if I connect a circuit like this, and we are calling this as a positive terminal, so what happens? The positive charges are going to be opposed by this positive terminal, right? And they are going to travel through this circuit to the negative terminal. So we call it as a rate of flow of charges. We are saying it, the flow of current means rate of flow of charges. Those are positive charges. So the positive charges are supposed to be expected to flow from, say, the positive terminal to the negative terminal. Are you understanding this? The positive charges are supposed to flow from, say, positive terminal to the negative terminal, right? Whereas in terms of electrons, since they are supposed to be negatively charged. So what happens? These negative charges, these negative electrons are supposed to move from this negative terminal to the positive terminal. And therefore, I'm saying that when I say the current I is flowing from the direction, say, to the positive to the ground, from positive to ground, the current is flowing from positive to ground, right? Similarly, the electrons are flowing in the opposite direction, that is from, say, negative terminal to the positive terminal, right? That's what I'm saying. The current is flowing in the other direction, and the electrons are supposed to flow in the opposite direction of the flow of current. Have you got this? Have you understood the statement? I guess this is not in your syllabus, but why I'm telling you, this is the knowledge that I'm trying to develop to study electronics. Right? So these are some of the basics which we expect from your side to first understand, and then we will land in the basic subjects of the syllabus. Right? So here, this is the simplest circuit. We have just connected a resistor. Now, what is actually a resistance is? Means what? Means we have to drive some of the circuit, right? One way or the other. Say I have to drive a bulb, right? We have used this bulb. So what happens? We have to connect a bulb in the same sort of a circuit. I will try to draw another circuit, the same circuit I am trying to draw like this. So I'm using this battery again, the same DC battery I'm using. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to connect a bulb over here, right? Like this. So I have tried to connect a bulb. This is a DC bulb, which I guess which is connected to our vehicles, right? So that is supposed to be the DC bulb, or in that case we can call it as a light, which is supposed to be work on a battery, right? So this is that DC bulb. Now we have connected this to this positive terminal. This is negative terminal, and the current is supposed to flow from say positive to negative. Now, why I am showing you this? This particular bulb is having some resistance, right? It will have some resistance through which we are expecting the current to flow. As the current flows through this bulb, the bulb is supposed to glow. ऐसा कुछ तो भी लाइट चालू होगा. कब? जब उसके अंदर से करंट पास होगा, right? So this bulb will actually have some resistance. Might be say ohm, or might be say in some small ohm, but it will have some resistance. Now, what happens every time I'm not able to put that bulb in a circuit, or say any of the circuits I can't put. If I have a fan over here, I can't put fan every time over there. So while testing or while designing a circuit, what I will do, I will take up a resistance of this particular bulb or a fan or the circuit which I need to drive through this battery, right? And I will put that resistance in that, and I will try to analyze the circuit accordingly. Okay, while testing or while say designing of that circuit, what I will do, I will not use this bulb directly or the fan or the circuit which I need to drive. Or say in that case, sometimes we might use a loudspeaker or a speaker to just take or design, right? So what happens if the current or the voltage increases, then what happens? This bulb will blow, right? So rather doing that, what I will do, I will just take the resistance of this and I will put that resistance in this circuit, right? Now this resistance, in that case, we will be calling it as a load resistance. Just remember this, what I will call you, the resistance of the load or the circuit which I am expecting to drive, right? समझा इतना? क्या बोला मैंने? Resistance, simple बता रहा हूँ. तो हम लोग, what we are going to do is, whenever we are going to connect a circuit, we'll have at the end of that circuit in parallel, we'll have some resistance. And that resistance, we are going to call it as RL, or the load resistance. Every time you are going to see that resistance over there in all of the circuits. Now that particular resistance is nothing but the load which we need to drive, right? And if this bulb blows, then it might cost say around 50 rupees. But when I put a resistance, a simple resistance over there, the cost of it is around say 25 paisa. So it's very negligible. So I can afford this blowing of this resistance of 25 paisa rather than the blowing of this bulb, which is costing me around 50 rupees, right? So that I can do while designing and by after implementation. If it works fruitfully, when I connect a resistance over there, then I can put that bulb, the specific bulb, and then I can drive the circuit, right? Have you got this? So that is the particular meaning of this load resistance or the resistance. Now the resistance are in different forms, right? So we will have different types of resistances also. We will have say potentiometer, which is supposed to be the varying type of a resistance, right? So I will show you. So the same circuit I'm now drawing in this say upwards down. So I'm just connecting the same circuit again in say this type. Here, what I need to do is I'm connecting a resistance in parallel like this. Here also it is parallel with the battery. Here also it is parallel with the battery, right? The same circuit I'm drawing again. Now in this case, what I will do, I will use a potentiometer. Now center tapping, I will use this as the ground common like this. So I will have the output voltage accordingly. This is say the input voltage, which I have written over here as say 5 volts. This is the resistance over there. Now, what is this type of a resistance? This type of a resistance is basically varying type of a resistance, which is supposed to vary, right? You might have used the say pot or to increase or decrease the volume of your say DJ or say in that case TV, right? You have used that round pot to increase or decrease the volume. And the same pot I am using over here. What it does, it actually divides this voltage into two parts, right? If it is 5 volt, and if this center tapping or say the wiper in that case is at the top, then the voltage will be 5 volts because it is directly connected to this with respect to ground, right? When it is at the center, then the voltage will be divided into two parts. This is 5 volt, it will be divided in 2.5, 2.5, right? Similarly, when this wiper is at this end, at this point, then it is connected directly to the ground. So the voltage will be 0. All of the voltage is going to drop across this resistance. So this varying type of resistance is called as a pot or say a potentiometer. In some cases, you might have studied in 12th, that is a rheostat, if you have seen that. Right? The same type of a thing is here also. We have used a tungsten wire wound on a coil, wound on a say plaster of Paris cylinder, and then we are using a wiper over it. So what it does, it is also going to vary the voltage. Have you got this? Have you understood? This is a type of another type of a resistance. Okay. Any questions on this? In series with the battery, yes, we can connect resistance in series with the battery. Actually, this is connected in series itself. But while measuring, what we are going to do, we are measuring across this resistance. We are measuring a voltage across this resistance. That's why it is coming in parallel. But if you see, it is in series. If I connect, say, another resistance like this, what it means is, if we are connecting two resistance like this, we have two resistors. Now I guess I might be coming to that point only. What I have done, I have connected these two resistors in series. But while measuring the voltage across which resistance you are supposed to measure, you can measure voltage across this resistance also. You can measure voltage across this resistance also, right? So actually they are in series. But while measuring, we have to measure it in parallel. Okay. So what I will do, I will connect a voltmeter across this resistance to measure the voltage across this. I guess we are having some practicals on this also. So you'll be having a hands-on training, hands-on experience on that, how the voltage is being measured across and current is measured in series. Right? So we will be doing that. What is happening over here is, we are supposed to divide this 5 volts, this voltage, particular voltage, into two parts, across this R1, across this R2. So it's going to be divided. Now, what is the formula for division? That we need to know. So if you have a pot like this, then also it is going to divide, right? So if it is at the center, it will give you 2.5, 2.5. If it is at the upper portion, then it will be 5 volt. If it is in this situation, then it is a 0 volt, because we have directly connected to ground. Is it okay? Now, the output voltage VO, the formula will be, if I take two resistors like this, R1 and R2, which are connected in series with this, and I need to measure voltage across one of the resistors. So whatever resistance you have to take, leaving that resistance. So VO will be equal to, so I need to measure the voltage across this R2. So the formula is R2 by R1 plus R2 into V in. That is supposed to give you the exact voltage across this resistor. across the resistance R2. And in that case, if you want to measure the voltage across this resistance R1, then you have to put R1 in the formula. So it will be VO will be equal to, VO means voltage across the resistance R1 will be equal to R1 by R1 plus R2 into V. So you can calculate accordingly. Now what happens if I take both the resistance of same value? So if I put 10 kilo ohms over here and say 10 kilo ohms over here, right? I am taking both as 10 kilo ohms. So if I substitute that, since both are of same value, then equal voltage is going to drop across both the resistances. So if I am taking 5 volts, then 2.5 volt should come across this and 2.5 volt should come across this. Is that right? So just we'll try to put that in this. So if I put this, R2 is equal to 10K divided by 10K plus 10K again, right? And multiplied by 5 volt. Is that visible? Okay, what I will do, I will rub this. I guess you have understood the concept of load resistance. I will just put this again and we'll try to analyze. So the formula is VO is equal to R2 by R1 plus R2 into V in, right? So we have taken both resistance as 10 kilo. I'm trying to take the voltage across R2. So I will substitute that. So R2 is 10K divided by 10K plus 10K into 5 volt. Is it okay? Have you got this? So net value will be, this is 10K divided by 20K. This KK gets cancelled and multiplied by 5 volt. So KK gets cancelled. 10 divided by 20 is equal to 10 ones are 10 twos are. So it is half of 5 volt, right? So that comes out to be around 2 point, I guess it is visible. So it is 2.5 volts. This is point. 1 by 2 into 5. So this is how the voltage or the potential is being divided between the two resistors, and therefore it is called as a potential divider network. What is it called? It's called as a potential divider network. Have you got this? Have you understood what is resistance? The unit of resistance is ohms. I guess I have told this in last class. Ohms. The symbol is like this. So this is the symbol, ohm, right? Since it is being derived from, say, Ohm's law, therefore it is being named on accordingly. So it is a ohms. This is a unit for resistance, right? Have you got this? Have you got this? Right? Okay. So as I told you, this is the resistance, and if it is visible to you, this is the resistance that is in my hand. So you can touch this and you can see on yourself. So these are the resistances. Now these resistances are being connected. Two resistors are being connected over there, right? And the pot which I was telling you is this. So this is a pot which is a rotary pot, and this is going to vary. So that portion, this portion is this. So this is the pot that I guess if you have attend this lecture on say offline, so you might be able to touch this also. So it is rotary. As you rotate it, so the resistance varies and accordingly the voltage varies. We are able to see these are having three terminals, one, two, and the central terminal over here, which I guess it is not being soldered. So we are having these three terminals of the pot, right? And this center tapping is going to vary, and accordingly we will have the change in the voltage, right? And the change in voltage is according to this formula, right? So this is that part which I need to tell you, and again the resistance that we are having. This is actually the cost of this is around 25 paisa per resistor, which I am expecting that rather putting that particular load over there, we can use this Even if it glows, it won't make much difference to us, right? So this is that resistance of that particular value. Now here we are having two resistances which are connected in series. As I told you, this R1 and R2. I guess both the resistances are of 10 kilo ohms only, right? So these 10 kilo ohm resistances can be calculated. The value of resistances can be calculated by using, say, uh, the say color codes, right? So we'll be studying that color codes also in another lecture. So these are the simple resistance that I need to show you actually, right? So, and this is the pot. I guess everybody has seen this. So we will be working on those practicals also when we'll study. Thank you. So I guess this much is enough for today. And in the next class, hopefully we'll be we'll be studying capacitors, right? So I expect from everybody that you will be attentive or regular in the class. Okay. And next time we'll be studying more about, say, the basic or the passive devices that we have started with. This basic knowledge we require for you to understand the syllabus portion of electronics in first semester. So these are some of the basic introductory session, or we call them as, say, the bridge courses, or say bridge classes, where we are going to bridge whatever we have studied up till now and what we are going to study in depth in the coming years in the graduation itself. So we are trying to bridge that particular two levels together by in the form of these lectures. So hopefully this is enough for today. In the next class, hopefully tomorrow at the same time, we are going to study, say, the passive devices, the second type of a passive devices, that is the capacitor, right? So I will have a full lecture on that capacitor also. So please go through my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe my channel. I'll be sharing more videos on this. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining. Stay home, stay safe, take care. See you in the next class. Bye. Good day. Have a nice day. I am having, yeah. So thank you very much for joining. We'll be taking another lecture on this. Bye. Have a nice time. Good day.